What's up, guys? ChaseOliver68 here, bringing you my Q&A number 14. Remember, guys, you can always send in your questions via inbox or Twitter. You just send me a tweet at ChaseOliver68. And while you're on my Twitter, just go follow me at ChaseOliver68. Let's get started with this Q&A. From the comment section on YouTube. Sometimes I let the comment section fly, sometimes I don't. In all honesty, the comment section, it's just hard to read some of the questions. All right, let's go with this. Will Pearl number 1 asked me questions. First question is, do you like 3-man commentary on Raw and SmackDown? No, I only like 2 people at a commentary booth. I feel 3 is too much of a crowd. Number 2, how would you book a Randy Orton and John Cena heel turn? In all honesty, Randy Orton can turn heel like that. You don't need to book him to turn heel. You can just make him turn heel and people will be fine with it. With John Cena, you have to go more complex. For me, with Cena, I would probably make him, you know, the leader of the Shield, have it where Triple H wanted him to be champion, and have like a corporate 2.0 going there. That's how I would do it. And the next question from here is from Blue Force 707. He asked me, if you booked WWE, which one of the current Shield members who would you feel more comfortable pushing to the main event? Probably Dean Ambrose. I said Dean Ambrose in the Believe in the Shield video. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. So I'll probably push him. On the Twitter, Kali asked me, Khalil, I think that's how you pronounce his name. You gotta tell me how to pronounce that name on Twitter. Question for the next Q&A, which WWE superstar is over the most, both heel and face? Ooh, that's a tough question. Probably Triple H, I would say. If I wanted to go old school, Jake Roberts, Rick Rude could play heel and face, Mr. Perfect. There's a lot of superstars. I can't really name it. Shawn Michaels is another guy that could probably do it. That's basically the answers I can give you. Little Chris sent me questions for the Q&A. How would you book a Stone Cold Steve Austin and CM Punk at WrestleMania 30? And how would you write the feud and build up? All right, for this type of question right here, guys, I like answering questions. But when there's a question where it's just like I have to like go into a thought process of booking and building up and writing a feud, I really cannot answer that type of question. It's just too long and no one wants to hear it, and that question takes up the most of the Q&A. I'm sorry, Little Chris, you're my homie and all, but I cannot answer that question right now. I'll probably make a video down the line near WrestleMania time about that. And when I mean near WrestleMania time, after Survivor Series, because that's when most fantasy bookings do start popping up. What is your favorite WWE match and feud of 2011 and 12? It's John Cena and CM Punk for 2011, both match and feud. And for 2012, holy shit. 2012 sucked when it came to feuds, but I did like a lot of matches in 2012. 2012 did have some good in-ring stuff, like Triple H versus The Undertaker, John Cena versus CM Punk a couple times, Daniel Bryan versus Punk a couple times, John Cena versus The Rock. So they had some good matches, but as for feuds, nothing really that pops into my head. And number 3, if you were in the WWE or TNA superstar, would you be a face heel or tweener? Honestly, I would try to play a babyface. I don't think I could play a heel. I think most people think I would be a babyface. I would try to play a heel. I can be a heel at times, but I think I would be more focused as a babyface if I ever went to WWE or TNA. Thank you for the questions, my homie. And now we go to Clarkson440. He asked me, are you sometimes afraid to admit you're a wrestling fan to other people that don't watch wrestling because wrestling's fake? Because this is how I'm feeling. Also, do you think people are hypocrites when they say wrestling is fake because people say they don't like it because it's fake, yet watch movies and they're fake? People watch movies for entertainment, so why do you think we watch wrestling? Doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid to admit it. If you go to my Twitter followers, most of my Twitter followers are some of my friends from high school. I'm pretty sure most of my friends from high school do know I do these YouTube videos, and in my room, I have a bunch of wrestling DVDs, and when my friends do come over, they do see the wrestling DVDs. I'm not afraid to admit I'm a wrestling fan. And it doesn't bug me when people say wrestling's fake, because like you said, I just say movies are fake. That's all I say to them. I don't care that I know it sounds rude and all, that I know a lot of wrestling fans, take it seriously when people say it's fake. But you know what? Just own up to it. You sometimes say, yeah, you know what? It is fake, but it entertains me. Just like movies entertain you. Because, I like professional wrestling. I admit that I do. Most of my friends probably do know I like professional wrestling. Most of my friends do know I do a YouTube channel about pro wrestling. And so, in all honesty, when it comes down to pro wrestling and just admitting to it, don't be afraid to admit to it. Just say you're a wrestling fan. Like all these people that's the problem, because a lot of wrestling fans that I know, they don't admit to being a wrestling fan. They're kind of afraid to admit it to people on the outside world. We are wrestling fans. Be proud you're a wrestling fan. Who cares if people give you shit for it? Because a lot of people know. I just don't know about. I know a lot about professional wrestling, but they know I know a lot about sports and other stuff. Show that you are a wrestling fan. Just show that you know something. It's pretty cool. You know, some people find it lame. Some people don't. I admit to my fandom of pro wrestling, and I feel most of you guys out there, if you're afraid to admit that you're a professional wrestling fan to your friends, then don't be. Don't. Just seriously admit to it. It gives you a big load off your chest, because I used to think that, but I think most of my friends don't even care that I talk about wrestling. His next question is, when the WWPG era ends, what era would you like to see come next? Um, the new era, new school era. I don't know what to call it. That's a interesting question. So I don't know. Probably the new era. I don't know what to call it. So yeah, right now we're still in the PG era. Um, Next question from Clarkson440 is, since you watched Pokemon when you were little, who were some of your favorite Pokemon? Charizard, Pikachu, Blastoise, Lapras, Gyarados, or as I like to call him, Gyarados, because when I was a little kid, I thought it was called a Gyarados. Gyarados, Aerodactyl. I liked Aerodactyl. He was pretty fucking tight. He was a giant fucking rock dragon that can shoot Hyper Beam, goddammit. Scyther was pretty cool to me. I just never liked using the game because its moves sucked. Marowak. I'm assuming we're keeping to the 100 original 50s, so I'm trying to name as much as I can that I liked. Yeah, pretty much. Jolteon, Flareon, Vaporeon, and Eevee. So yeah, those are some of my favorite Pokemon. 12 Cabillo Society asked me a question. To you and WWE / TNA has the best, worst heel / face turns in your opinion? I don't know how you worded that question. The best and worst heel / face turns. The best face turn in WWE history was, to me, from what I've been watching professional wrestling, was Batista. And the worst heel turn was Stone Cold Steve Austin for WWE's sakes. Now, if I go to TNA, the best face turn they did was, they don't really have good face turns in TNA, but their worst heel turn was Jeff Hardy. It was smart for them to do it at the time. Like, I understand they took the risk with it. It was really cool to see what happened, but the months after it was pretty bad. But it was a good risk in professional wrestling. Like, I would have risked turning Jeff Hardy heel. But I feel that sometimes they should, like, after that, they just didn't do a good job with it. Question number 2. To you, who has the best wrestling star to make a big transition change in their character? Like JBL in 2004, Chris Jericho in 2008, King Booker 2006, and The Miz in 2009. Right now, I think AJ Styles, right now, he has a great transition from his character, even though he's not talking that much. JBL is a pretty damn good transition to his character. You mentioned that one before. I'm trying to think of something else, because there's a lot of Billy Gunn. I mean, he went from being an ass man to, you know what happened after that. Chuck Palumbo to a gay guy to a biker. Paul Burchill to a serious British wrestler to a pirate. You know, there's a lot of good transitions out there. The thing is, it's not these wrestlers' fault that sometimes they don't get over. It's just that the WWE just does not know how to book them. Like, some of these ideas are really, really good ideas. They just don't know how to put them over. And his third and final question is, what was your favorite Power Ranger color and villain when y'all stopped being a fan? Okay, so if you guys don't know, I'm a Power Ranger fan. I used to be a Power Ranger fan. I don't know if anyone else was a Power Ranger fan. You know, I got into Power Rangers during Mighty Morphin, literally when Mighty Morphin first started. That was like my little kid show. I started watching from Mighty Morphin all the way after, I believe I said I stopped at Lightspeed Rescue. No, Time Force, Lightspeed Rescue, or Time Force. Either or, one of those two was the last one I've watched fully, like the full season. And then during the summer times, I would go to my grandma's house, pretty much just because my mom worked double jobs over the summer and she couldn't watch us, and same with my dad. So I would go to my grandma's house, and really, besides, working on the ranch that she had and doing all this work for her, we also just had TV. And so I would watch TV, and one of the things I would watch was Power Rangers because I saw it was on. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? Power Rangers Ninja Storm. And it moved on from Ninja Storm to Dino Thunder. And Dino Thunder was a pretty damn good series. If some of you Power Rangers fans who have not seen Dino Thunder yet, go watch Dino Thunder. It's actually pretty good. It will remind you of, especially if you're a fan of Lost in Space, Lost Galaxy, you will definitely like this one. Now, my favorite colors when it comes to a Ranger color, my favorite Ranger colors, obviously the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, the original two awesome Rangers. I like the blue colors a lot. Blue's my favorite color, so I always said if I ever tried out for a Power Ranger show, I would ask to be the Blue Ranger because blue is my favorite color. And also, Blue Ranger's kind of like second in command. They're like the Red Ranger's bitch. And I wouldn't mind if I was the Red Ranger's bitch because, you know what? Fine. Be that way. But, yeah, pretty much those are like my favorite colors. My favorite villains. Ooh. Mesogog from Dino Thunder, dude. That's why I like Dino Thunder. They had a really good villain in Mesogog. Rancic, I think his name was, from Time Force. It's been a while since I've seen Time Force. What's his name? I'm trying to think of the name of the Zed, of course, but no, I'm trying to think of who was the fucking monkey. Goldar, there we go. Goldar from the original Mighty Morphins. He was a loser, but hey, he was a villain nonetheless. But yeah, there were some pretty good villains and Power Rangers. Not the greatest villains because obviously they got their ass kicked a lot, but hey, you know what? They did a good job. Alright, the Gochi Man asked me a question. Does it bother you WWE always have to rely on past stars to draw ratings and pay-per-view buys? Why can't WWE build up new stars? Doesn't bother me that they use past stars because past stars do bring in ratings and that's what they need. They can't build up their new stars because they put these past stars, they use these past stars in a sense with already established stars. They don't use these past stars to help the newer stars. So, I hope that answers your question. And does it bother you that WWE is always burying the mid-carders like Damian Sandow, Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes, Antonio Cesaro to main eventers like John Cena, Sheamus, and Randy Orton? Yeah, it does bother me a little bit because they're not even broken down yet. To me, it's just that, when you look at those superstars, Damian Sandow is still young in the company. I mean, this guy has only been here for, 1 year, and we're already saying give him a world title shot? Like, what happened to the 4-year build-up to... John Cena won his first title 2002, and he won it in 2005. Why not give Damian Sandow 3 years before we actually give him, the world title? Also, when it comes down to Wade Barrett, they missed opportunities on Wade Barrett, and I felt they pushed him too fast. Cody Rhodes, they pushed him too fast. Antonio Cesaro, he's another guy where they just, need to give him time. And see, the problem is, why these guys are losing to Randy Orton, John Cena, and Sheamus, I'm saying it's because they don't have enough jobbers on the show. Because back in the past, you would have jobbers that would come out there, they would get their ass kicks, they would be the ones that would get beaten down, and that's how it worked. And all honesty, that's how it works. So that's why these guys are not getting over, is because there's no jobbers for them to beat. There's not a lot of jobbers for them to beat. So blame the jobbers, not the main eventers. And the second question is, have you ever played Mortal Kombat 4 for the N64? Nope. Sorry about that one, buddy. I'll maybe get around to it. Real Spider-Man the War fan is, ever watch Hilly Duff on Lizzie McGuire when you were a kid like I did? Yes, sir. What McDonald's Happy Meals toy were your favorites when you were little? I went to Burger King more, not McDonald's. Sorry about that, buddy. The Beanie Babies? I guess. Ever watch Full House? If so, who were your favorite characters on the show? And what was your favorite episode or episodes? My favorite characters in Full House, obviously John Stamos, Uncle Jesse. Danny Turner was a legit person. Fuck Joey. Joey can cut it out. Like, seriously, what the fuck was that? Favorite episodes? One of my favorite episodes is, because it involved Joey getting screwed over. So this is why I love this episode, was when Michelle pulled the lottery thingy. She pulled like the fucking thing for um the slots, and then all of a sudden Joey hit the jackpot, and Joey thought he was gonna be rich, and all the girls were sad because Uncle Joey was leaving, and then it found out Michelle pulled it, and I was like, fuck you, Uncle Joey, you deserve that shit, man. So I thought it was hilarious. So hey, when Uncle Joey gets screwed over, you know Chase Oliver is happy. Final Limits 1 asked me a question. What do you think about Brian Pillman? Great, great high-flying wrestler. Could have been someone that broken out at some point in his career. It's just sad that he never did. Very charismatic. Who from GTA San Andreas do you like more? Which characters? Oh, shit, dude. San Andreas has some of the best characters. All you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ. Man, you're just a straight up buster, CJ. Buster. One of my favorite characters, minus CJ, because I'm pretty sure most people do like CJ when they play, was Sweet. I love Sweet. Sweet was just always so real, down to earth. I mean, he was just like you bust him out of jail after going through Las Venturas, San Fierro, the desert, and all of a sudden, you know, you're like, come on, Sweet, we gotta stop smoking. Sweet's like, nah, man, I'm going home to the Grove. Like, he's just like saying, nah, man, I'm going to go home to the Grove. You take down Tenpenny, and Sweet also is like, man, I'm hungry. Let's go get some food. Like, you do all this crazy shit, and you're just very simple-minded about it. I love Sweet. Sweet's a badass to me. I feel he's very underappreciated. Tenpenny, who does not love Tenpenny? Samuel Jackson. I mean, come on, Carl Boy. I mean, I love Tenpenny. Officer Tenpenny was a shit. Caesar, I like Caesar's character just because he was just so funny. He was just like always like, you know, he was treated as this Mexican badass, and then sometimes you'll be doing a mission, you'll be like, oh, fool, I don't know if I can take the credit, Holmes. And then Carl's like, wow, man. And it's like, dude, I'm afraid of heights. It's like, what? Like, he'll just say all these funny things. Woozy's another character I like, and Torino, John Torino. Torino, oh, God. Fuck OG Loke. I do like OG Loke's rap, but I hate OG Loke. How would you book the aces and eights differently? Now, see, this one I can do because it's really quick. I can say quickly because I would change a lot of things with aces and eights quickly. I would have a lot more younger guys on that in the aces and eights. I would have a lot more TNA guys that are being mistreated. Like, why isn't Matt Morgan in that group? I mean, he's always saying like, Hulk Hogan mistreated me. Why doesn't he join the aces and eights? It makes sense if he wants to join that group. And pretty much, I would just have guys that are just not too old. I would just have younger guys, like pretty much guys that you know could take over the leader. Like, say for example, like Mr. Kennedy. Do you think he's going to get a title shot out of this in the near future? No, he's not. Like, guys that are able to, once they enter the group, one day defect from the group and take over the leader. So that's what I would do for the aces and eights. And my final question for the Q&A is, why the fuck did you ignore questions from my home final limits questions on your last Q&A? That was a dick move from Cancerous Mikework. You didn't send me questions for the last Q&A. If I did not see it, I'm sorry, but I did not see those questions whatsoever on the last Q&As when I was doing the inbox. I didn't see that. What would you do with the Shield in the next 5 fucking years? I would have Dean Ambrose separate, become world champion. Seth Rollins be built up to a solid mid-carder, future world champion. And Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble and becoming a world champion. I would have Dean Ambrose be WWE champion, Reigns be world champion at one point. What do you think about Cena being shoved down our throats 24/7? Is that the WWE's way of punishing us internet smarks? Well, right now when I'm filming this video, there's no John Cena on my screen. I don't see WWE Network pushing John Cena because that's not out yet. If anything, if you go on WWE.com, they're not really pushing John Cena all that much. Let me go on WWE.com. The first thing I see on WWE.com is Extreme Originals. What if ECW didn't close? Photos of superstars at their most extreme. AJ Lee's Black Widow exposed. Is there a third Paul Heyman guy? Stipulation match origins revealed, and 5-star match Rey Mysterio's high flying debut. So I don't think the WWE is pushing John Cena 24/7. I know it feels like it, but I don't really think they're pushing him 24/7. It's not punishing us. I mean, Obviously, I went on WWE.com and I named the 5 teams, and not one of them had to really do with John Cena. I'm pretty sure John Cena is going to be featured in a couple of the articles, but I don't think they're pushing him 24/7. And let's not forget, he is the top guy. You have to push the top guy. If you're not going to push the top guy, what's going to happen? So pretty much that's it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Q&A. If you guys like me, you can subscribe by clicking the little icon or down below. Like this video. Comment down below your thoughts of any of the questions if you want to answer them. My dogs are barking right now, and I'm out of here. I'll see you all later. Follow me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68. Peace!